Welcome to your second bass lesson. Today, I'll teach you how to read bass tabs. I'll give you some practice techniques. I'll teach you two bass techniques, and then I'll teach you a riff to go along with those two techniques. First, we'll start with the tabs.
Okay, here I have wrote out a little example of some tablature. I have 2 bars written out. You can tell the difference between bars because of these lines here. So this is the start line. We have 1 bar separated by this line, and another bar, and it ends here. And you can have as many bars as you want, but I just have 2 right here for this example. And this bar is split up into 4 strings. The bottom string here being E, or the 4th string, the thickest one on the bass, A, D, and G. And I have some notes just written out here. 6 would be the 6th fret on the A string. Then it will go to the 5th fret. Then it goes to the D string, 3rd fret to the 5th fret. Now this H here means to hammer on. And I'll tell you what hammer-ons and pull-offs are later in this video. And then again here it just goes down to the E string, which you can see because it's on that last string. 3rd fret, 1st fret. So that's basically, those are the basics of bass tablature there.
First of all, you want to practice at least 30 minutes a day, if not more. And it's also nice to practice with a metronome. A metronome will help you keep time and it will count for you. And when learning songs, you want to start with a slower tempo, usually slower than your actual goal tempo. You start slow, you practice, and as you get better with that practice, you gradually get a little faster until you get to the tempo you want. First, we'll start with hammer-ons and hammer-offs. They look a little something like this. So this is a hammer-off, this is a hammer-on. Basically what we're doing here is we find a note, play it with the left hand, and then without playing with the left hand again, you do what is called a hammer-on to the next note. And that's just, you hold this note, you take your other finger, and you smack it onto the next note. And a hammer-off is a little similar. You play the note, and then with the finger that's holding down the note, you'll kind of flick it off without using your left hand. And if before you flick it off you have another finger fretted here, it'll go to that note. So that's the first technique. Your second technique will be slapping, and that's with the left hand for slap bass. So what you'll be doing is slapping the strings, like almost literally, with the harder part of your thumb here, like the knuckle, on the side, like towards the inside of your hand. And you'll kind of hold your hand like this and slap the string. Not like that, like this sort of. Do a little bit of slap bass action with that. You kind of have to play around with it a little bit to make it sound good, but you should ultimately get something like this. Now I'll teach you a riff to go along with those two techniques. We won't be using the pull off, but we will be using the hammer on and the slap technique. I'll teach you Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn. It goes something like this. So this riff will start here on the A string with the 6th fret. And I like to use my ring finger for that. You go ahead and slap that once. Just once there. And you do kind of like you don't really hold it very long, just a little bit like, you just let it go. It's called staccato. And then you'll go ahead and hit that an additional time, and then move on to the 5th fret with your middle finger, like this. All right? Now we're gonna move down to the 2nd string here, the D string, And this time we're gonna pluck the string with our pointer finger, kind of like this. All right, and then we're gonna fret on the 3rd fret of the D string and hammer on to the 5th. We're just gonna pluck it once, just like that. Then we move up to the 4th string here, and we're gonna go on the 3rd fret. Here I like to use my pointer finger. We're just gonna slap that 3 times, and then slide that down to the 1st fret. And that's the whole riff right there.